There comes a moment in life when you're just tired. Tired of pushing, tired of begging, tired of trying to fit into places that were never built for you. And you look in the mirror, really look, and realize that all this time you've been chasing something that was already yours if you had just let it come in its own time. Life ain't about force. It's about faith. It's about flow. It's about trusting that your steps are ordered even when you can't see the path. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not running behind. You are exactly where you need to be for what's about to come next. But the door you're banging on so desperately, maybe it's closed because there's something far greater being built just for you, and your hands are too full of old dreams to receive the new ones. When you stop forcing life, when you release the grip, that's when everything changes. That's when your blessings find you. That's when the right people stay. That's when peace, joy, and destiny walk right through your door without you having to chase a thing. Let go, let God, watch what happens. Sometimes we don't even realize it, but the very moment we start forcing things to happen in our lives, we step outside of faith and into fear. Fear disguises itself real good. It wears the mask of ambition. It dresses up like hustle. It even talks like purpose. But underneath all of it, it's just fear whispering that if you don't make it happen right now, it'll never happen at all. That if you don't force your way through, you'll be forgotten. But let me tell you something. Anything that's birthed out of fear will cost you more than you ever wanted to pay. When you try to control everything, you trade your peace for panic, your destiny for desperation. You start fighting battles that were never meant for you to fight. You start holding on to people who were never assigned to walk your path. You start building a life out of fear instead of faith. And when you do that, the foundation is always shaky. Faith says, I trust even when I can't see. Fear says, I don't trust unless I control. And every time you choose fear, you pull yourself further away from the life God intended for you to live. You can tell when you're operating out of fear because everything feels heavy. Conversations feel forced. Relationships feel exhausting. Opportunities feel like obligations. Your spirit gets tired. Your mind gets overwhelmed. Your body starts breaking down under the pressure because fear will have you carrying weights you were never supposed to lift. Fear screams in your ear, you better move faster. You're running out of time. But faith is patient. Faith knows that what's meant for you is already written with your name on it. You don't have to scramble for it. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to sacrifice your soul to have it. Forcing things out of fear turns blessings into burdens. It drains your joy, it robs your peace, and it blinds you to the doors that are already open because you're so busy banging on the ones that are closed. Fear makes you believe that you're alone in this fight, but you're not. You were never meant to do this by yourself. You were never meant to hustle your way into God's plan. You were meant to walk into it with trust, with confidence, with peace in your heart. Some of the worst mistakes you'll ever make in life come from a place of forcing. You'll stay in relationships you should have let go of a long time ago. You'll take jobs you were never supposed to accept. You'll make decisions just to feel like you're moving forward, but you'll end up moving in circles. Because movement without alignment is just wasted energy. Fear will have you running toward things that look good on the outside, but hollow on the inside. It'll have you chasing applause, chasing validation, chasing love in all the wrong places. But faith allows you to be still. Faith allows you to stand strong when everything around you says panic. Faith tells you you don't have to chase what's already yours. You see, faith isn't passive. It's not weak. It's the strongest force you can have. It takes more strength to trust in what you cannot see than it does to force what you think you can control. And when you start moving from faith instead of fear, you stop trying to open every door. You trust that the right ones will open themselves. Fear makes you operate out of scarcity. It convinces you that opportunities are rare, that love is rare, that success is rare, that peace is rare. So you start grabbing at anything that even looks like a blessing, even if it's not meant for you. You settle. You lower your standards. You cling to things that were only supposed to pass through your life, not stay in it. You fight for people who are never fighting for you. You pour yourself out into places that never had the capacity to hold you. Because when you live in fear, you believe that if you don't hold on to something, anything, you'll be left with nothing. But living by faith tells a different story. Faith says abundance is real. Faith says that what's taken from you will be replaced with better. Faith says You don't have to chase what was never yours to begin with. Faith whispers to your soul, trust me, I'm preparing something you can't even imagine. And when you trust in that, you stop forcing, you stop clinging, and you start flowing with the rhythm of grace that was always meant to carry you. You can look back over your life and see it so clearly. The moments when you forced something and it broke apart anyway. The relationships you begged to stay only to end up with a broken heart. The jobs you fought to keep only to feel miserable every day you showed up. The doors you pushed open only to walk into a room you were never supposed to enter. Forcing doesn't just delay your blessings. Sometimes it blocks them entirely, because when you're busy forcing your way into the wrong places, you miss the opportunities designed for you. You're too distracted to notice the real blessing standing right in front of you. Life has a way of teaching you that what's forced is fragile. It doesn't last. It cracks under pressure. It demands more from you than it ever gives back. But what flows to you in its right time, that's different. That's strong, that's rooted, that's divine. That's the life you were meant to live. And it doesn't come by fighting harder. It comes by trusting deeper. It comes by refusing to let fear be your compass. Fear will have you living in a state of constant anxiety, constantly measuring yourself against others, constantly worrying that you're not doing enough, being enough, achieving enough. It's a thief. It robs you of the present moment. It robs you of the quiet miracles happening in your life right now. You could be surrounded by blessings today, but fear will blind your eyes so that all you can see is what you think you're missing. Fear keeps you living in the future, worrying about what's next. Faith pulls you back into the present and says, breathe. You have everything you need for this moment. Forcing life out of fear robs you of gratitude. It makes you overlook the beauty of now because you're obsessed with controlling tomorrow. But faith teaches you that when you are faithful over little, much will be given to you. When you trust and celebrate where you are, you open the door for even greater things to come. Gratitude breaks the chains of fear. Gratitude silences the panic. Gratitude reminds you that you are already blessed beyond measure, even if you can't see the full picture yet. There's a peace that comes when you let go of forcing. It's a peace the world can't give you and the world can't take it away. It's a peace that anchors you when everything around you is shaking. When you stop forcing, you stop trying to be the savior of your own story, and you start letting God be God. You realize that your job is not to control the outcome. Your job is to be faithful in the process, to show up, to be present, to do your best, and then leave the rest in hands much bigger than yours. When you move from a place of trust instead of fear, you'll find that doors open without you even touching them. People come into your life without you chasing them. Opportunities align without you manipulating anything. Life becomes less about struggle and more about surrender. It's not that challenges disappear. It's that you're no longer trying to face them alone. You're walking in partnership with a power greater than your own. You're walking in rhythm with your destiny instead of fighting against it. Every time you force something that isn't meant for you, you're delaying something that is. Think about that. Every time you cling to what you should release, you're making room for more pain instead of more purpose. Fear tells you that letting go is failure. Fear tells you that if you stop fighting, you'll lose. But faith tells you that letting go is the ultimate act of trust. Faith tells you that what's meant for you can't be taken, can't be stolen, can't be missed. Faith reminds you that sometimes you have to release good things to make room for greater things. You have to let some people walk away so that better connections can walk in. You have to let some dreams die so that bigger dreams can be birthed. You have to trust that endings are really beginnings in disguise. You have to trust that closed doors are sometimes divine protection. You have to trust that every no is setting you up for the right yes. And none of that happens when you're living in fear. It only happens when you choose faith every single day, even when it's hard. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You're right on time. Fear screams that you missed your chance, that you're too old, too broken, too messed up to step into your calling. But faith whispers, nothing is wasted. Not your pain, not your delays, not your detours. Everything you've been through is preparation. Everything you've survived is positioning you for the future you were always meant to walk into. When you stop forcing life, you allow divine timing to do its work. You realize that the years the enemy tried to steal from you, God can restore in an instant. You realize that the opportunities you thought were gone forever can come back around even better than before. You realize that delay is not denial, it's development. It's grace giving you time to grow strong enough to handle the weight of the blessing you've been praying for. When you stop operating out of fear, when you stop forcing, you begin to live out of overflow instead of out of lack. You begin to move differently, speak differently, breathe differently, because you know that what's meant for you cannot be undone. We spend so much of our lives clenching our fists around things we were never meant to hold, trying to control every detail, every outcome, every person. We think if we just plan enough, work hard enough, stress enough, we can force life to cooperate with us. But the truth is, control is an illusion. It's a trick of the mind that keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. Because no matter how much you try, you can't control everything. You can't control how people treat you. You can't control when opportunities show up. You can't control when love finds you. You can't control the storms that come. And the tighter you try to grip life, the more it slips through your fingers. Surrender is not weakness. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is choosing to trust a higher plan, a higher wisdom, a higher love that sees farther than you can see. It's about opening your hands and saying, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. And in that surrender, there's a power that's deeper, stronger, and more beautiful than anything you could ever build on your own strength. Control is rooted in fear. It's the fear that if you don't take matters into your own hands, nothing good will ever happen for you. It's the fear that if you don't push, pull, and manipulate, you'll be left behind. But fear lies. Fear says you are alone. Fear says you have to hustle or you'll be forgotten. Fear says you have to fight for every inch or you'll lose it all. Surrender, on the other hand, is rooted in faith. Faith knows that you are not alone. Faith believes that you are seen, that you are heard, that you are loved. Faith rests in the truth that what's meant for you is already moving towards you. When you surrender, you shift your energy from desperation to expectation. You start walking like somebody who knows they're covered. You start living like somebody who knows they're guided. You stop chasing everything and start attracting everything that's meant for you. Because surrender creates a space for blessings to flow freely without the weight of your own worry holding them back. Some of us have spent years of our lives trying to play God, trying to orchestrate outcomes, trying to force relationships, trying to create timelines, and then getting angry when life didn't bow down to them. But control never really brought you peace, did it? It brought you anxiety. It brought you sleepless nights. It brought you stress, headaches, and broken hearts. It brought you disappointment after disappointment, because life doesn't answer to your plans. Life unfolds on its own timing, in its own way, for reasons bigger than you. Control is the mind's way of trying to protect itself from pain, but the irony is the more you try to control, the more pain you create. Surrender doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It doesn't mean you stop moving. It means you hold your dreams with open hands, not clenched fists. It means you show up, you do your part, but you release the outcome. You say, I trust that if it's for me, nothing can stop it. And if it's not, no amount of forcing will make it mine. That's real power. That's real freedom. When you finally realize you don't have to control everything, a weight lifts off your shoulders you didn't even know you were carrying. You start to breathe deeper. You start to walk lighter. You stop battling everything and start flowing with the seasons of your life. You learn that rejection isn't in failure, it's redirection. You learn that closed doors aren't punishment, they're protection. You learn that delays aren't denials, they're preparation. Surrender allows you to stop living in resistance to your own life. You stop fighting the seasons God has you in. You stop comparing your journey to everybody else's timeline. You trust that where you are is exactly where you're meant to be. And in that trust, you find a peace that no amount of success, no amount of accolades, no amount of forced victories could ever give you. You start waking up every day, not with fear in your chest, but with hope in your heart. Because you know you are being guided step by step, breath by breath, by a hand that never lets go. Control whispers lies in your ear. You're running out of time. You're falling behind. You better do something now or you'll miss your shot. But surrender stands up taller and says, I am exactly where I need to be. Surrender reminds you that you're not late. You're not early. You're right on time for your destiny. Control is reactive. It panics. It scrambles. It clutches. Surrender is proactive. It listens. It trusts. It moves with wisdom instead of worry. There's a strength in surrender that most people will never understand because it takes courage to trust what you can't yet see. It takes bravery to believe that unseen forces are working on your behalf. It takes deep faith to rest when everything in you wants to run. When you live surrendered, you move differently. You walk into rooms with a quiet confidence, not because you know what's going to happen, but because you know who's guiding you. You stop needing all the answers because you trust the one who holds them. You stop needing to see the whole staircase because you know the next step will always appear when you need it most. We often think surrender means losing control of our lives, but the truth is we never really had control in the first place. Control was always an illusion, a fragile thread we held onto to feel safe. Real safety, real security doesn't come from controlling your surroundings. It comes from anchoring yourself in something unshakable. When you surrender, you place your trust not in circumstances, but in purpose. Not in timing, but in truth. Not in outcomes, but in alignment. You start asking different questions. You stop asking, how can I make this happen? And start asking, what's the next right step? You stop asking, when will it happen? And start trusting that it will happen when it's supposed to. You live your life with your hands open instead of fists closed tight. And in that openness, blessings find you easier. Peace finds you quicker. Joy finds you deeper. Because you're no longer trying to wrestle life into submission. You're allowing life to unfold the way it was always meant to. It's humbling when you realize how little control you ever really had. You couldn't control who stayed and who left. You couldn't control who loved you right and who didn't. You couldn't control when storms came or how long they lasted. But what you could always control was your surrender. You could always choose trust over panic. You could always choose peace over striving. You could always choose faith over fear. That choice is your real power. Every time you surrender, you're telling fear, you don't own me anymore. You're telling doubt, you can't shake me anymore. You're telling life, I may not know where this road leads, but I trust the one who does. And with every act of surrender, you grow stronger, not weaker, stronger. You build a resilience that can't be faked, a faith that can't be shaken, a spirit that can't be broken. Because you're not standing on the shifting sands of your own plans anymore. You're standing on the rock of a higher calling, a greater promise, a deeper truth. There's nothing passive about surrender. It's one of the most active, courageous things you can ever do. It's choosing every day to show up fully, love deeply, give freely, but then release the outcomes with open hands. It's trusting that even when life doesn't look like you thought it would, it's still working for your good. Surrender teaches you to honor the journey instead of rushing to the destination. It teaches you to find beauty in the becoming, even when the becoming feels messy, unfinished, unclear. Surrender breaks the chains of perfectionism. It frees you from the need to have it all figured out. It invites you to walk by faith, not by sight. And as you do, you realize that life becomes more beautiful, more vibrant, more full of miracles than you ever could have planned for yourself. Because when you finally let go of the wheel, you make room for divine hands to guide you. And where they take you is always better than where you were trying to force your way toward. Surrender doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you show up every day ready to give your best, but you leave the results up to God. You sow seeds of love, seeds of effort, seeds of hope, but you trust that the harvest will come when it's meant to come. You keep moving, but you move in flow, not in fear. You move with alignment, not anxiety. You stop striving for validation. You stop chasing approval. You stop living like everything depends on you alone. You realize you were never meant to carry it all. You were never meant to figure it all out. You were never meant to do this journey on your own strength. And when you lay down the burden of control, you pick up the blessing of trust. You pick up the freedom of peace. You pick up the joy of knowing that your life is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a mistake. Your life is a masterpiece in progress. And every masterpiece takes time, trust, and surrender to be revealed. There's a frustration we all feel when life doesn't move at the speed we want it to, when the job doesn't come fast enough, when the relationship doesn't show up when we think it should, when the dream seems stuck somewhere far beyond our reach. We pound our fist on the door of opportunity and wonder why it won't swing open. We pray, we cry, we demand, we scheme, and yet sometimes, no matter how hard we try, the timing stays the same. But hear me, the right things don't come when you demand them. They come when you're ready to hold them. They come when your heart is mature enough not to ruin them. They come when your character is strong enough to sustain them. They come when your mind is clear enough to appreciate them. Life is not withholding blessings from you out of cruelty. Life is preparing you. Life is making sure that when what you've been praying for shows up, you won't mishandle it. Because a blessing given too soon becomes a burden. A gift received before you're ready can break you instead of bless you. So trust the wait. Trust the preparation. Trust the process. We don't like the word wait. It feels passive. It feels powerless. It feels like nothing is happening. But waiting is not wasted time. Waiting is working time. Waiting is molding time. Waiting is strengthening time. It's in the waiting where your roots grow deep enough to handle the storm that success brings. It's in the waiting where your identity is formed so you won't be shaken when the world finally sees you. You think you're just standing still, but God is doing work underground. He's building patience inside of you. He's building humility inside of you. He's building resilience inside of you. And those qualities, not your talent, not your ambition, will be what keeps you standing when the blessing arrives. You see, anyone can get something fast, but few can keep it. Few can honor it. Few can carry it with grace. And so life loves you enough to delay the things you think you want so you can become the person who's worthy of carrying them. When you live from a place of demand, when you think you can force destiny to bend to your timeline, you move into frustration, anger, bitterness. You start to believe the lie that if it hasn't happened yet, it must mean it will never happen. But timing isn't denial. Timing is refinement. You don't put a cake in the oven and then yank it out halfway through baking just because you're hungry. You wait because you know it needs time. You wait because you know that premature exposure would ruin the very thing you want so badly to taste. The same is true with your life. Some of the things you're asking for require baking. They require heat. They require patience. They require surrender. And when you stop demanding and start preparing, when you shift from why hasn't it happened yet to who am I becoming while I wait, everything inside you changes. You stop living from a place of lack and start living from a place of abundance. You stop whining and start growing. You stop fighting the wait and start honoring it. We have this idea that life owes us something just because we want it bad enough. That if we hustle hard enough, we can force things into existence on our schedule. But there are some doors that no amount of banging will open. There are some seasons that no amount of pushing will accelerate. Because destiny is not earned by force. It is received by faith. It is walked into with patience. It is embraced with humility. When you stop trying to demand life give you what you want and start preparing yourself to be the kind of person who can handle it, you align yourself with the flow of grace instead of the struggle of striving. You stop trying to control everything and start trusting that what's for you will never pass you by. You live knowing that nothing truly meant for you will ever require you to compromise your peace to get it. Nothing meant for you will ask you to betray your values, your worth, your heart. The right things will fit your life because they were made for your life. And they'll arrive exactly when they're supposed to. We often think we are ready long before we actually are. We think because the desire is there, the maturity is there too, but life doesn't move on the strength of your wants. It moves on the strength of your readiness. You might want the relationship, but are you healed enough not to bleed on it? You might want the platform, but are you grounded enough not to let it destroy your character? You might want the success, but are you disciplined enough to steward it well? Readiness isn't just about wanting something badly. It's about becoming the kind of person who can carry it without dropping it, who can honor it without letting it destroy them. And that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the hidden seasons, in the lonely seasons, in the silent seasons. When no one is watching, no one is clapping, no one is celebrating you. It's in those spaces that you are being shaped for the very things your heart is yearning for. And when you're truly ready, you won't have to chase it. It will find you. It will fit you. It will feel like it was made for you because it was. Sometimes the reason the right things are delayed is because the wrong things are still holding space in your life. Sometimes we're begging for new blessings while clinging to old baggage. We're asking for the next chapter, but refusing to let go of the last one. And life in its wisdom says, not yet. Not out of punishment, out of protection. Because the right thing at the wrong time becomes the wrong thing. And blessings can't thrive in cluttered, crowded spaces. They need room to breathe. They need room to flourish. So sometimes the delay you're experiencing is actually a divine mercy, a chance to let go of what no longer serves you, a chance to clean out your heart, a chance to make room for what's coming, Surrendering to the timeline of your life means surrendering to the purging process too. It means trusting that if something had to leave, it was only making room for something better. It means trusting that every ending is a seed planted for a new beginning. And your job isn't to force it. Your job is to prepare for it. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that you can't rush your own becoming. You can't speed up your own growth. You can water the soil, you can show up every day, you can choose faith over fear, but you can't control the timing of the bloom. Flowers don't bloom because they're forced to, they bloom because the season calls them forth. And so will you. Your season is coming, your breakthrough is coming, your blessing is on its way. But it will come when the roots are strong enough to hold the beauty of it. It will come when your heart is sturdy enough not to be blown away by the winds of change. It will come when your spirit is humble enough to know it was never just about you. It was always about something bigger, something higher, something eternal. That's the beauty of divine timing. It doesn't just give you what you want. It makes you into who you were born to be. It prepares you for not just a blessing you can hold, but a blessing you can multiply, a blessing you can pass on, a blessing you can live fully in. The waiting season isn't punishment, it's protection, it's preparation, it's promise and progress. Every no, every delay, every detour is part of the beautiful, mysterious choreography of your life. And when you look back, you'll realize the things you thought were setbacks were really setups. The doors that didn't open were rerouting you toward better doors you didn't even know existed. The relationships that fell apart were clearing the way for deeper, truer connections. The dreams that felt delayed were just marinating in something bigger, something richer, something far beyond what you were asking for. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And the right things, the ones that will truly light your soul on fire, the ones that will feel like home, they're already written into your story. They're already moving toward you. You don't have to demand them. You don't have to force them. You just have to keep becoming the person who's ready to receive them. If you could see what's being prepared for you, you'd never doubt again. If you could see the doors that are going to swing open, the people who are going to walk in, the moments that are going to take your breath away, you'd understand why the wait is worth it. You'd see that nothing good is ever lost, only stored. Nothing true is ever wasted, only refined. Nothing meant for you is ever stolen, only reserved. So keep building when no one is watching. Keep preparing when it feels like nothing is happening. Keep showing up when the world feels silent, because the silence isn't emptiness. It's expectation. It's the universe holding its breath, waiting for the exact right moment to release what's been prepared for you. And when it comes, when the right thing finally shows up, it will be better than you imagined, bigger than you dreamed, and more beautiful than you thought you deserved. Not because you demanded it, but because you were ready for it. It's a hard thing to accept when people walk out of your life. It cuts deep. It feels personal. It feels like a failure. You wonder what you did wrong, what you could have done differently, how you could have held on tighter. But hear me, what walks away was never meant to stay. What leaves you was never assigned to your destiny. It might feel like rejection, but it's actually redirection. It might feel like loss, but it's really liberation. The people who are meant to walk your full journey with you will not need to be begged to stay. They will not have to be convinced of your worth. They will not leave when the road gets rough or the days grow dark. They will stand, they will hold steady. They will be aligned with your purpose, not just your comfort. So when something or someone walks away, grieve if you must, feel it fully, but do not chase. Do not compromise your dignity for temporary company. Trust that whatever leaves your life is clearing space for something more authentic, more lasting, more true. Trust that your destiny is not tied to those who had the strength to leave, but lack the courage to stay. There is a natural pruning that happens in every season of growth. When you evolve, not everyone can evolve with you. When your spirit rises, not everyone has the lungs to breathe at that altitude. And it's not your job to shrink back just to make others comfortable. It's not your responsibility to slow your pace so others can keep up. Sometimes the very act of you stepping into your next level will cause others to fall away. And that's not a tragedy, that's a confirmation. It's life's way of removing what cannot handle the weight of your destiny. It's life's way of refining your circle, sharpening your vision, clarifying your path. Some people are scaffolding, necessary for a season, but not meant to stay when the building is complete. Some relationships are bridges, Necessary to cross, but dangerous to live on. When you realize this, you stop mourning who left and start celebrating. You stop holding funerals for relationships that died naturally. You stop questioning your worth because of someone else's inability to recognize it. You rise. You keep walking. You keep building. You trust the pruning process, painful as it is, because it is making space for the extraordinary. Very real. What you lose on the way to becoming who you are meant to be is not a loss. It's a necessary shedding. The caterpillar doesn't mourn the cocoon when it breaks free. It understands that the breaking was necessary for the flying. The same is true for you. Some people were attached to your cocoon, but not your wings. They loved the limited version of you, but could not handle the free, soaring, limitless version. And that's okay. Not everyone can go where you are called to go. Not everyone will understand the calling on your life. Not everyone will see your value through the lens of your future instead of the lens of your past. And trying to drag people into your destiny who are only meant for your history will only weigh you down. It will only break your wings before they even have the chance to catch the wind. So let them go, bless them as they leave, thank them for the part they played in your story, and then turn your face to the future, spread your wings and fly. Because what's ahead of you is so much greater than what's behind you. Sometimes we hold on to things longer than we should simply because we fear the emptiness that their leaving might create. We think that a familiar hurt is better than an unfamiliar healing. We settle for presence over peace. But hear me, anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. Anything that requires you to abandon yourself just to keep it is not a blessing. It's a burden. And life will always, always make you choose. Choose yourself. Choose your growth. Choose your future. If someone can walk away from you, let them. If something can slip through your fingers despite your best efforts, release it. Because what is truly meant for you will never require you to lose yourself to keep it. It will never ask you to sacrifice your soul. It will never force you to dim your light or suppress your spirit. The things and people meant for you will align naturally. They will flow, not force. They will feel like peace, not pressure. They will build you up, not break you down. And you won't have to constantly question where you stand because their actions will make it clear. What's real will stay. What's false will fall away. We often mistake attachment for love, but they are not the same. Love liberates, attachment clutches. Love empowers, attachment entraps. When something or someone leaves, it's easy to blame ourselves, to replay every moment, every conversation, looking for where we messed up. But sometimes it's not about a mistake you made, it's about a mission completed. Some people come into your life to teach you, to grow you, to shape you, but not to stay with you forever. They are assignments, not lifetime companions. And when their role in your story is finished, clinging to them only creates unnecessary suffering. True love, true connection doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be chased. It doesn't have to be convinced. It aligns, it flows, it feels safe. And when you trust that what walks away was never meant to stay, you free yourself to receive love that doesn't have to be earned through exhaustion, but accepted through grace. You make space for the relationships that mirror your growth, your healing, your truth. You start living with open hands and an open heart, knowing that whatever stays was meant to be, and whatever leaves was meant to teach. The beautiful thing about loss is that it clears the way for clarity. When people walk away, they reveal their own hearts far more than they expose any flaw in you. They show you what they were capable of. They show you the limits of their loyalty. They show you the ceiling of their love. And you are free to rise above it. You are free to outgrow it. You are free to pursue connections that don't have ceilings, only open skies. You are free to recognize that your value was never tied to who stayed or who left. It was anchored in something deeper, something eternal, something no human opinion could touch. You are worthy because you exist. You are loved because you were created. You are chosen because you have breath in your lungs and purpose in your soul. And anyone who walks away from that is simply making room for those who will honor it, who will celebrate it, who will walk with you, not out on you. So bless the goodbye. Bless the ending. Bless the leaving. Because it is ushering in a beginning greater than you could have ever orchestrated for yourself. Understand that loyalty cannot be forced. Love cannot be manipulated. Presence cannot be begged. The right people will stay through the storms. The right opportunities will remain even when the winds of change blow strong. The right paths will keep unfolding before you even when you feel lost. You don't have to perform to be loved. You don't have to beg to be chosen. You don't have to compromise your authenticity to be accepted. If it's meant for you, it will find its way to you and fight to stay with you. If it's not, no amount of striving will hold it together. And that is not a reflection of your lack. It is a reflection of their inability to recognize the treasure you are. You don't lose value because someone couldn't see it. You don't lose worth because someone couldn't carry it. What you lose is the illusion that you needed them to complete you. What you lose is the burden of trying to prove yourself. What you lose is the chains that kept you tied to something smaller than you were created for. And what you gain is freedom. Sometimes the very people we cry over losing are the ones that God removed to protect our destiny. Sometimes the rejection we feel is really a rescue we can't yet see. Trust that. Trust that what felt like abandonment was actually alignment. Trust that what felt like devastation was actually deliverance. You are being guided even when it feels like you're being gutted. You are being protected even when it feels like you're being punished. The doors that closed, the people that left, the plans that fell apart, they all served a purpose. They all cleared the way for you to walk lighter, freer, truer into the future that is waiting for you. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't love. It doesn't mean you don't grieve. It simply means you love yourself enough to trust the journey more than the moment. You love yourself enough to believe that your best days are not tied to what left, but to what's coming. You love yourself enough to walk forward with hope, even when your hands are empty. Because empty hands are ready to receive miracles. So if you are standing today in the aftermath of something or someone walking away, don't see it as an ending, see it as a beginning. Don't see it as punishment, see it as positioning. You are not being abandoned, you are being advanced. You are not being rejected, you are being redirected. You are not losing, you are learning. And every tear, every heartbreak, every goodbye is watering the soil of your future. Will serve you. You can imagine this is for anybody. It's preparing you for the people who will love you right. It's preparing you for the dreams that will honor your soul. It's preparing you for the purpose that will fulfill your spirit. Trust the empty spaces. Trust the broken pieces. Trust the hollowed out places. They are the womb of your next becoming. They are the sacred ground where new life is being born. And when the new things arrive, the right people, the right opportunities, the right love, you'll understand why the old had to leave. You'll see clearly that what walks away was never meant to stay. And what stays will be everything you ever needed and more. In a world that celebrates noise, motion, and hustle, stillness is misunderstood. They tell you to move faster, shout louder, hustle harder. But strength isn't always found in the chaos. True power is often quiet. It's the man or woman who knows how to be still in the middle of the storm, who is truly unshakable. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is knowing who you are so deeply that you do not have to react to every storm, every insult, every change in the wind. It's the confidence to sit with your soul, to listen to your heart, to trust that not every battle needs your sword. Sometimes the greatest victories come not by fighting harder, but by standing still, by waiting with wisdom, by letting the dust settle before you make your move. Stillness is not the absence of action. It's the presence of intentionality. It's moving when it's time, speaking when it's necessary, acting with precision instead of panic. The strongest people I know are not those who always have something to prove, but those who can sit silently in the face of uncertainty, trusting that their strength does not depend on the noise around them, but the peace within them. The world wants you anxious. The world profits from your panic. But you were never created to live in a state of frantic striving. You were created for peace. You were built for stillness. Every great leader, every true warrior, every real champion knows this secret. The battle is won in the waiting. The strategy is crafted in the silence. The wisdom is born in the stillness. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The one who listens, who watches, who discerns, that's the one you better watch out for. Because they are not reacting, they are preparing. They are not losing their energy on battles that don't matter. They are preserving their fire for the battles that do. Stillness doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care too much to waste your strength on distractions. It means you are saving your voice for the moment that matters. saving your moves for the moment that counts. Stillness is discipline. Stillness is self-mastery. Stillness is knowing that your energy is sacred and must be spent wisely. The weak chase every conflict. The strong choose their battles. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to prove yourself to everyone. You don't have to jump every time the world tries to provoke you. Silence is not surrender. It's strategy. Stillness is not weakness. It's wisdom. When you are still, you can hear what anxiety drowns out. You can feel what fear numbs. You can see what chaos obscures. Stillness sharpens your intuition. It tunes your spirit to a higher frequency. It allows you to see the bigger picture when everyone else is trapped in the moment. Stillness lets you walk by faith, not by sight. You begin to trust that not every storm is yours to stop. Not every insult is yours to answer. Not every invitation to conflict is yours to accept. You start to move with a divine kind of confidence, a sacred kind of certainty, knowing that your destiny is too big to be derailed by petty distraction. You no longer waste your fire proving your worth to people who can't even see your value. You no longer waste your energy fighting battles you were never called to fight. You stay still. You stay grounded. You stay powerful. The strong don't rush decisions. They don't panic when plans fall apart. They don't move just because everyone else is moving. They understand timing. They understand preparation. They understand that waiting is not wasted time, it's weaponized time. It's preparation time, it's sharpening time, it's becoming time. When you practice stillness, you give yourself permission to grow roots before you grow wings. You allow wisdom to catch up to your ambition. You allow your soul to synchronize with your calling. And when the time comes to move, you move with power, not panic. You move with clarity, not confusion. Stillness cultivates patience. And patience births excellence. Nothing great is rushed. Nothing eternal is hurried. When you are still, you are not falling behind. You are falling into alignment. You are syncing your steps with something greater than yourself. You are stepping out of the rat race and stepping into your race, the one marked out just for you. And that race is not won by those who burn out fast, but by those who endure. By those who master the art of moving when it's time and waiting when it's wise. Stillness teaches you to trust the unseen. It stretches your faith. It refines your character. It forces you to confront your fears instead of outrunning them. It reveals what's real inside you, your hopes, your insecurities, your dreams, your doubts. And in that revealing, you are strengthened. You cannot heal what you do not see. You cannot change what you do not confront. Stillness pulls up what has been buried under busyness. It makes you face yourself. And that is where real strength is forged. Not in pretending you have it all together, but in facing the broken pieces with honesty and grace. Stillness teaches you that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of perspective. It teaches you that the external world can be chaotic, but you don't have to be. It teaches you that real power comes from mastering yourself, not your surroundings. When you master stillness, you become unshakable. You can walk through storms and not be moved. You can face opposition and not lose yourself. You can live in a noisy world and still carry a silent, powerful peace. Stillness gives you vision. In the rush, you see only what's right in front of you. In the stillness, you see what's ahead of you. You start living by design, not by default. You start moving with intention, not impulse. Stillness is where strategies are birthed, visions are refined, dreams are fortified. You begin to understand that life is not just about reacting to what happens to you, but about creating what is meant for you. You stop living out of fear and start living out of purpose. You stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. You stop settling for survival and start stepping into destiny. The strong are not the ones who avoid stillness. They are the ones who seek it out. They are the ones who carve out space to hear the whisper of their own soul. They are the ones who refuse to let the noise of the world drown out the calling of their spirit. They're the ones who know that true success starts on the inside long before it shows up on the outside. Stillness gives birth to strategy, and strategy gives birth to strength. When you are still, you learn to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. You learn to recognize the voice of your own intuition, the stirrings of your own spirit, the guidance of something greater than yourself. You stop living reactively and start living responsively. You realize you don't have to chase everything that glitters. You don't have to answer every critic. You don't have to run after every opportunity. You trust that what's meant for you will not miss you. You trust that you don't have to force what is already aligned with your destiny. Stillness teaches you that power is not found in striving, but in surrender. That doesn't mean you don't work hard. That doesn't mean you don't hustle with heart. It means you don't hustle with desperation. You work from peace, not for peace. You move from purpose, not from panic. You act from wisdom, not from worry. Stillness anchors you so deeply in your own truth that the tides of the world can rise, the storms can rage, and yet you remain unmoved, unwavering, unbreakable. The world will tell you to fear stillness, to fear silence, to fear waiting, but the strongest warriors know that stillness is sacred. It is in the stillness that the greatest breakthroughs come. It is in the silence that the clearest instructions are heard. It is in the waiting that the most profound transformations occur. Stillness doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you're being strengthened. It means you're being stripped of the need to control, of the addiction to busyness, of the dependency on outside validation. You are being refined for something greater. You are being prepared for something deeper. You are being positioned for something more lasting. When you embrace stillness, you stop striving for surface victories and start living for soul victories. You stop chasing shallow applause and start living for deep fulfillment. You realize that the true battle was never out there. It was always inside you. And by mastering the inner chaos, you conquer the outer chaos. There's a reason the strongest trees are the ones with the deepest roots. They don't panic when the winds come. They don't break when the storms rage. They are anchored. They are grounded. They have spent years growing down before they ever grew up. Stillness is your growing down season. It's your rooting season. It's the season that no one applauds, but everyone will see the results of. Because when you grow deep, you can rise tall. When you build inward, you can shine outward. When you master stillness, you master strength. And in a world that is constantly moving, constantly shouting, constantly distracting, your stillness will set you apart. Your stillness will be your secret weapon. Your stillness will make you unbreakable, unstoppable, undeniable. Because true strength was never about how loud you could shout. It was always about how deeply you could stand. When you truly understand the power of stillness, you realize that you don't have to chase what was already written for you. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to control every outcome, win every argument, or respond to every storm. Life has a rhythm of its own, and those who are wise enough to get still, to get quiet, and to listen will find themselves carried by a current stronger than anything they could create alone. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about doing everything with intention. It's about pulling back your energy from the noise of the world and tuning it to the quiet, steady beat of your purpose. Strength isn't found in how loud you can shout, how fast you can move. It's found in your ability to stand firm when everything around you is trying to shake you loose. Every battle you will ever face will first be won or lost inside of you. Every dream you will ever pursue will be fueled not by your panic, but by your patience. Every destiny you are meant to fulfill will not be captured through striving, but through surrender. Real power comes when you stop forcing and start flowing. When you stop reacting and start responding. When you trust that what walks away was never meant to stay. When you believe that the right things will come when you are ready, not when you demand it. You start to carry yourself differently. You move with quiet confidence. You live with steady faith. You trust the timing even when you don't understand it. You trust the pruning even when it's painful. You trust the stillness even when the world is rushing. Stillness is a sacred kind of strength. It's a strength that is unbothered by the chaos outside because it is rooted in the peace inside. It is the kind of strength that doesn't need validation, doesn't need the spotlight, doesn't need to be loud to be felt. It's the kind of strength that can walk away when necessary, wait when necessary, and move with wisdom when the time is right. And in mastering stillness, you master your destiny. You stop living at the mercy of everything around you and start living from the power planted within you. That is how you rise. That is how you endure. That is how you become everything you were created to be. Hold your peace. Protect your stillness. Guard your heart. In a world that worships speed, choose strength. In a world that praises noise, choose clarity. In a world that honors chaos, choose calm. The strongest ones are not the loudest. They are the ones who have mastered the art of standing still when others crumble, of waiting when others rush, of trusting when others panic. This is the real battle. This is the real victory. And it's already inside you. Thank you for allowing these words into your heart. Keep standing. Keep believing. Keep walking your journey with a steady soul and an unbreakable spirit. God bless you, and may his peace guide you every step of the way.